A very good morning to all of you. This is R.N. Bhaskar from BKBB, an acronym for Bhaskar Ki Business Baatein. This is a channel that comes to you every week with policy analysis, conversations, and occasionally with a business story too. But at 8:15 in the morning right now, we come to you with the news behind the news on weekdays, Monday to Fridays. And today, my co-anchors are Janvi. Welcome, Janvi. And there's Muskan too. Muskan will join us shortly, but she'll come along. And the three of us are going to discuss the following titles which are there on the screen. The first is about animal shelters, and the focus has been on cows and not dogs. The second one is how journalists will soon become an endangered species in the Middle East. And the third one is on the RBI and how it wants innovation to drive AI in banking. Let's take the first story first. Today, the Supreme Court is going to hear the matter about stray dogs. Delhi wants to ban them, exterminate them. And the big question is, why do we have differing standards for dogs and cows? If cows can be protected, why can't dogs? Just as the cow is useful to society, the dog is also useful to society. But there's another issue. Look at the chart. The chart shows how expenditure on animal shelters was high and then it dropped and continues to remain low, and the allocated sums and the actual disbursed sums, are lower. And why? No answers forthcoming, but there are two or three interesting issues. But before that, look at the chart above. You'll find the largest number of expenditure for animal shelters are in the Hindi belt, in Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, and Haryana. What is common among all these states? Gaurakshaks. They have cornered much of the money for animal shelters, thinking that this could be one way in which they could take care of cows and also get some money for themselves. Then why did the money stop? Why did the spending stop? And the answer could lie in three factors. One, even the cow shelters realized that when an animal grows old, it involves more expenditure on healthcare and pharmaceutical products. And they found that whatever money was given was not enough. And that is why in states like Uttar Pradesh, you find cattle roaming in the streets because they just don't want them. So you have a law which says, take care of them, a reality which abandons them, and you can't do anything. There's another issue. Your cow slaughter laws may be excellent for some people, but they're bad for other people. They're bad for the leather industry, they're bad for the beef industry, and they're bad for employment. And for foreign exchange, because leather is a big foreign exchange earner. And the third issue, look at milk. Just combine the total of the Hindi states and look at milk production 10 years ago and look at milk production now. We've done an article on that. And shortly a podcast too. And then look at the numbers. You'll find all India milk production went up by 74%. The Hindi belt, the Gaurakshak belt, milk production increased only by 48%. And states which did not accept the cattle slaughter laws saw milk production increase by 98%. Effectively, you had a law which is bad for the economy, bad for growth, bad for people, and now you want to have a new law for dogs without taking into consideration realities on the ground. Maharashtra, incidentally, has been amazing. Ajit Pawar has said, he's the Home Minister, he has ordered that nobody is going to stop a cattle wagon except the police, indirectly saying Gaurakshaks are not wanted in Maharashtra. Some sanity needs to be there on how to protect animals. I hope the Supreme Court listens to such arguments carefully today. Okay, that takes us to the next story, which is equally depressing but very important, and that's on journalists. Janvi, could we have you?
So earlier this year, Mukesh Chandrakar, a journalist from Chhattisgarh, did an investigative news report exposing the corruption in a road construction project in Bijapur. A few days later, his body was found in a septic tank. Local reporter Bijay Pradhan, reporting for Bada Khabar in Odisha, was tied up, severely beaten, and dragged through the streets for over 2 hours while he was in the process of investigating alleged irregularities in a municipal construction project amid suspicions of corruption. Press freedom and safety for journalists seem to be growing bleaker as we move forward, not just in India but around the world, especially in the war torn countries. According to CPJ, Committee to Protect Journalists, in 2024, 103 were killed, 361 imprisoned, and 67 went missing. Palestine comes at the top with 190 journalists killed in the past decade, 186 of which was just in the last 3 years. India stands at the seventh position here with 33 journalists killed in the past decade. We're also aware that it ranked 159 on the World Press Freedom Index last year. And India is the world's largest democracy, and anything that goes on in the country cannot take place without public debate grounded in facts which are brought to light by journalists. Reporters Without Borders define press freedom as journalists' ability to operate without security, political, legal, social, or economic constraints. It is shaping up to be a very dangerous profession to be in. We clearly seem to be very far from reaching a space that is conducive to truthful, fearless journalism. So, sir, I'd like to hear from you if you think that conditions in India have gone particularly worse in this past decade as compared to before, and why is it so? And since we're looking at these past 10 years, does the government in power have anything to do with it?
Yes, you're right. Journalists are rapidly becoming an endangered species, especially the Middle East, where Israel is selectively pulling out journalists and killing them. Israel has become more of an assassin than a country with culture. And as a better is the United States, which was supposed to be a land of the free. And it was supposed to be uh, a country which protected free speech. Today, it's attacking not only journalists, but even students, and does not want any commentary on the Israeli war or protection of Palestinian rights. No other country has been as gruesome as Israel has been. But India has its own share of blame. And that is why I'm glad that the courts have stepped in again and again to protect press freedom, prevent them from being trampled by politicians and other organizations that do not want the press to be free, and also press councils which have taken up the issue and have gone to court whenever they thought that the press was under threat. Thank you very much for bringing this up. It's a very important topic. It's wonderful to have that. And now let's go to the third topic. Muskan, could you come in?
Yes, sir. So we've seen AI taking over the entire world lately. So the Reserve Bank of India has also released a significant report from a dedicated panel outlining a clear and thoughtful approach to adopt AI, artificial intelligence, within the financial sector. The core message from the panel is a strong recommendation for all the financial institutions to be proactive and strategic. The report urges banks and other firms to develop specific policies and guidelines to manage the risks associated with AI. It's a crucial warning. Without these safety measures, AI power could not only make everyone safer, but also introduce entirely new forms of harms. Let's understand the concerns. Imagine an AI system that's been taught using fraud and incomplete data. If this system is used automatically to create loans, it could unintentionally create by unfairly penalizing certain demographics. So the RBI is designed to try and do exactly that. It provides a comprehensive framework of 26 specific actionable steps for the country to ensure quality
Okay,
to
Muskan
governance
is
and ensure
traveling.
that
Muskan
AI
is
systems
traveling.
are
So,
transparent and accountable. The
okay,
panel also
Muskan,
introduced a
I'll take on.
set of
I'll take on from
7
here.
guiding principles, or also known as the 7 Ps of AI.
Okay, uh, Muskan, I'll take on from here. AI is very, very important because of three reasons. One, it improves efficiency. B, it allows for better customer service. And three, it lowers costs for organizations and banks. But the danger is that you must protect security, you must protect privacy, and you must make sure that AI functions smoothly without getting distorted information out for people. And this is where the RBI wants banks to be a little more innovative to look at AI. But the RBI is also hamstrung by another factor, which it does not talk about. India does not have an e commerce regulator, India does not have an IT regulator. And these fall in the domain of IT, how to make things secure, what should be allowed, what should not be allowed, what are the remedial steps. And there's one more issue. The RBI has also to contend with bogus bank account numbers, which could interfere with AI in ways that we cannot imagine today. That again falls in the government's lap, and the RBI is silent about it. Let's see what happens. But AI is unstoppable. People are going to use AI. Banks will have to find new ways to become more customer friendly. And that brings me to the end of today's session. But before I go to comments and before I talk about questions, let me send you the usual reminder. Please click the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. Click the like button. That helps us immensely. But most of all, please tell all your friends about us. That's a way we can grow faster. And now let me take the comments that have come in. Is it money or compromise situations that stops the press to work freely? No, it's not money, it's political will. When politicians and powerful interest groups do not want journalists to work freely, and the law is silent about it because of political collusion, journalists are under threat. There are laws, there are ways in which you can prevent the misuse of journalism. But the misuse of journalism does not mean banning or killing journalists. It's like the proverbial matchstick. It can be used for cooking, it can be used for burning people. You don't ban the matchstick, you make sure it's not misused. The government seems to have forgotten that simple, basic difference. And that takes us to the next question. And the next question is the RBI. Will the RBI be able to clean up banking? Look, again, it's a situation of intent. If the bank wants half the frauds in the banking sector can be reduced. But many of the loans are given because under political pressure. Remember the PNB case? Where the software allowed a banker to do transactions without the transactions being copied in the central registry. This could not have happened with a collusion at the highest management level. The RBI's guidelines are good, but it needs integrity and it needs good intentions. And that takes us to the third question. And the third question is about animal shelters. Yes, the Supreme Court is hearing the matter today. And while I do not want to invite any contempt of court by discussing the case, I do believe that all animals have a right to exist. And the stray dogs You can use sterilization and animal shelters to make sure that too many stray dogs are not there. You could create a rule that you can feed stray dogs in the animal shelters so that they're not fed on the street sides. If you have the intention, you can do many things. But if you're bent on sadistic things like killing animals, that is not right. Okay, that brings us to the end of today's session. It was wonderful talking to you, wonderful having you with us. And yes, please make sure that you're there tomorrow once again. We love you to have you with us. Take care. Have a great day today. All the best.